while there's a break in the action, we want to show you an interview we had a chance to do with the two greatest names in bodybuilding, Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, and the reigning Mr. Olympia, Lee Haney. They had some fascinating things to say about each other and their sport of bodybuilding.
I think we all get into the sport, whatever sport it is, because we love it, because we fall in love with it, or because we feel that we have a certain kind of a potential in this sport and we could get great. And so I think that in my days, the last time I competed, I got $1,000 for winning the Mr. Olympia competition, so you can just see the difference. And I swore to myself then that when I stepped down from the competition, I will promote the sport.
Talking to Robbie Robinson earlier, he addressed the point that during Arnold's tenure, it seemed that there was more of a sense of camaraderie amongst the participants. Do you agree?
Well, I caught the tail end of a magical era. You know, I've had a chance to stand on stage with some of the greatest in the sport of bodybuilding, although I didn't get an opportunity to compete against Arnold. Probably fortunate that I didn't. But
for me, maybe.
False modesty, okay.
You know, it has gone through evolution, and, you know, money has a tendency to change things because, like during Arnold's era, for instance, we did it for the sheer enjoyment of it. You know, there wasn't a lot of money to be made then.
Is it safe to say the bodybuilders are reasonably good athletes as well? It isn't just
excellent athlete. Our sport is not like football or basketball. We are on the entire year. There's no off and on season.
Today you've seen that just about in any sport that you look into, if it is football, if it is basketball, if it is boxing, Lee Haney, for instance, is the trainer of Holyfield. He trains him in weight training, and he's the world champion fighter, so obviously he wouldn't be training with weights if it slows you down. Professional wrestlers in figure skating. Every sport is now using weight training.
And who better to know than the king himself? During his reign, Arnold Schwarzenegger turned his weight training into 7 prestigious Mr. Olympia titles. Seemingly an unreachable record until Lee Haney came along.
Throughout the last 10 years of bodybuilding, I always was saying to myself, I hope no one breaks my record. And every year he was getting closer and closer to this thing. I say, I think this guy is going to go after my record. And then I said to myself, well, now usually guys don't hang around that long. He probably is going to retire after the 6th Mr. Olympia title, you know. Maybe become a big gym owner, own around 20 clubs. I wanted to finance his club so he gets away from the competitive scene and all those things. And then all of a sudden, there it happened. You know, there was the big build-up that Lee Haney is going to break Arnold's record and all those things. And after he did it, and he won the 7th Mr. Olympia title, I felt great about it. I honestly can say that. Because no one that deserves it more than Lee, because he has paid his dues. He's a great gentleman. He's a great athlete, a good competitor, and fair. And he represents the sport so well that I only heard the best about him, you know. And he's a very dear friend of mine.
I know that a lot of the hardcore bodybuilding fans out there want to know the answer to this question. In your prime, at your best, who's going to win?
I think it's really going to be a very, very tough competition, and you need a lot of experienced judges to judge that. That's the way I see it, and maybe Lee can speak for himself.
Come on, Lee, be controversial. Tell me you kick his butt. Come on.
It's like... You have to understand, Lee. Television ratings are created through confrontation and hostility and all kinds of things like that. So maybe we should give them a line. Yes, he can beat me, and I think he can beat me, so now let's get the ratings up.